Well, one man who has a lot on his plate, but he's still thinking of others, Dragons assistant coach Shane Flanagan is kind enough to join us this afternoon. Flano, now you've got a playing group to look after, a son who's playing for the Roosters, and you've just spent your afternoon donating blood. That's a really beautiful thing to do in such a really critical time for our country and for those obviously in desperate need.
Yeah, Bonnie, I do it pretty regularly. A rare blood type, AB positive, which is only 4% of the population. So, I don't even really think about it too much now. I probably do it, 20 times a year, or as many times as I can, and enjoy getting up there and working with those people up there at the blood bank. So, with all these people not working at the moment, if you can get up there and donate blood, it will definitely be a benefit to our community. In times of need, I think they're okay at the moment, but it's always needed.
Flano, it's Mick Ennis. I spoke to your wife Kathy yesterday. She was in grave concern with the 30-minute hairdressing lockouts. But positive news today, mate. They've lifted that, so you'll be right to get back for a little bit longer with the barber.
I heard you had that one ready to go for Corey, but he didn't come through, so you used it on me.
Mate, tell us how you're going. How are you enjoying being back?
Yeah, I'm really enjoyed it. We haven't got the results that we wanted, obviously in those first two games, but there's been a lot of change over the pre-season, and the players have adapted really well. They're a real compliant group, and they've tried really hard and worked really hard. We've been in both games, and I think we should have won both games at some point, but we weren't good enough. But we're going to keep working really hard, when we can get back, and hopefully turn it around. But to answer your question, I've enjoyed it thoroughly working down there at the Dragons.
Yeah, g'day Flano, it's Brandy. Mate, I was at Wollongong for that first game, and you're right, you got yourselves in a position to win the game. You blew a few chances late in to grab the Tigers, but naturally I want to focus on the Penrith game. Mate, that was one of the more bizarre games I've seen, because both teams at a stage looked absolutely gone, and Penrith ended up jagging it at the end, but a bizarre, weird game.
Yeah, they got out of the blocks really well, Penrith, and it was 12-0, and they bombed a try for forward pass, would have gone to 18-0, and, it would have been really hard for us to come back then. We took an intercept and went length of the field, and it's just one of those things that changed momentum, and we come back, and, with 10 minutes to go in the game, I thought we'd snatched it without playing that well, but strange things, and when things aren't going well for you, we were at play the ball right down in Penrith's end, and Tyson trips over at marker, and Penrith were good enough to identify it, and they put a player had a rail on his inside, Nathan Cleary, and they went the length of the field, and it was all over then. So you got to take the opportunities when they come, and obviously Penrith did, and we'll get there. I'm really sure if they keep their attitude the way they go on the Dragons and working really hard, we'll eventually get there, and sooner rather than later, I hope.
What is your circumstance at the Dragons and the rest of the coaching staff there now?
They're really pleasing. We had a meeting on Wednesday with our all the football staff, and the players were in a little bit earlier, and the players have just been told to, go away and self-isolate, and we'll come back to you probably at the end of this week with a little bit more information. And in relation to the staff, all our staff are off now, and we'll just take it month by month. We're not going down there to work at the moment, but we're still getting paid, which is a fantastic thing from the Dragons. They're not solely relying on Leagues Club funds to come in. There's 50% ownership model there, I think, and so we're in a reasonable position, the Dragons and our staff. It's not a big staff, but touch wood, this doesn't go for too long, and we can get back and start working.
Flano, the country's going through some hard times. I mean, they've never seen anything like this before. None of us have. Can I ask you personally, I mean, you've been in this position before where one day you've got a job and then the next day you didn't, How do you handle it, and how tough is it for, we see Paul Green at the moment, he stepped down from the Cowboys, Dean Pay's without pay. How tough is it for these people?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different situation, but I tried to talk to the group yesterday, the playing group, about, when this goes for everyone, that you've got to try and get some routine. You've got to still get up in the morning, and you've got to sleep well at night. That's probably the first thing, and then get up in the morning and do some exercise, get some routine into your day, and whether it's for the playing group, whether it's doing some personal development and study, whether it's doing some jobs around the house. I know Mrs. Flanagan's got some ready for me to do. So, whether it's just doing that, and keep connected with the playing group. Hopefully, as you can see, most clubs are sending some equipment home. I know Kyle's got set up a gym out the back here now, so they can get out there and do that. The playing group will be, the players will be okay. Obviously, their pay's a big concern, but we'll be ready to go as soon as they give us the green light. I'm sure we'll be just itching to get back, and we'll do. I know, you're all involved in rugby league, and all the players and all the staff of footy clubs. We'll do anything we can to help the community at this point in time, and then if we do that, that'll help rugby league get back sooner than later.
Flano, have you got a gut feel on what's going to happen? I know there's a September 1 deadline. If we don't get started before then, the season is a write-off. Have you got some?
I've been ringing ScoMo and he hasn't been answering his phone. He might be a bit busy at the moment. No, Brandy, I don't have a real gut feeling for what's going to happen, but I think that's the hardest thing for everyone, especially in rugby league land, that if they said we're off for 2 months and then we're going to come back to resume training, we'd all be able to handle that. We'd all sort of set our compass and go again. But at the moment, it's a bit of the unknown. Are we back in 2 months? Are we back in 3 months? Are we not back at all? So that's the toughest thing at the moment, the unknown. But this is new to everyone. We can't go to anyone advice of what would you do in this situation. It's new to everyone right across the world. So we just have to batten down and look after each other, I think.